So, hi Amanda. My name is Jasmine Ceballos. I am the school psychologist student. So, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
Good.
It's nice meeting you.
Good. So, I know you wanted to come in and do some individual counseling sessions. So, I'm glad that you're here. So, before we get started, I wanted to get to know you a little better. So, what grade is it that you're in?
I'm in the 12th grade.
Oh, see, a big senior. Okay. Have you enjoyed coming to high school here?
Yes, I have.
What's been your favorite part about attending this school?
I really like the peer mentoring program and the drama club. Those are my favorite things.
Oh, okay. So you're into acting then?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully I can act on television someday.
Okay, so what's your kind of theme? Do you like sappy, or you like comedy or drama?
I think mostly like dramas.
Dramas. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I haven't had a lot of students tell me that they're into all that, so that makes you unique.
Very cool.
Okay, so outside of the peer counseling and drama, is there anything that you like to do like outside of school?
Outside of school, I do like to read, like for fun. I really like fictional novels, so.
Fictional is fake, right?
Yes, fiction.
Nice. Okay. What's one of your favorite books, or a book that you would recommend that I go out and read?
I don't know if it's a particular book, but I do have a particular favorite author. His name is Chuck Palahniuk. He has some really, really good, kind of like mind-twisting novels where it kind of puts you in like a different perspective.
Okay. So you said Chuck
Palahniuk.
Okay. Write that down. I'll have to check it out then. Okay. See? You're teaching me some new things today. All right. So you're into drama, you're into reading. You're a very artsy person, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. Pretty cool. So do you have any siblings or cousins or anybody that comes to this school with you?
I have 2 older brothers, but they've already graduated.
Oh, okay. Would you say that you look up to them?
Yeah, I would say so.
Good. I'm glad. It's always good to have role models, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So, I know we spoke about this before, that you wanted to come in and do this. So, what are some things that you hope to accomplish through, these sessions?
I'm kind of just hoping to maybe relieve some stress in my life or have some help with some anxiety. I am a senior, so going into college, there's a lot of new things happening in my life, and just, there's a lot of unknowns that are kind of making me worry, worrying about getting into certain schools and worrying about my grades. So I think that's what I like to focus on.
Okay. So you really want to try and overcome these stress barriers so that way you can do well in your decision making later.
Yes.
Okay. So we can definitely work through that. All right. So if a miracle happened tonight and you woke up tomorrow and, this problem of your stress and anxiety was solved, what would be the first sign that this had occurred?
I think that the first sign would be just me being able to enjoy my life and live in the moment instead of, having my thoughts constantly focusing on these things that are giving me stress. I think I would be able to just focus more on the things that matter, like my family, my friends, being able to just be there and not, having these other thoughts in the back of my mind.
Okay, so living in the moment, and so focusing more on the things that matter and living in the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
That matter, living in the moment. Okay. So when you say living in the moment, what do you think is one thing that you would be doing differently than you are now? So what does that look like?
I think just enjoying the time with my family, more quality time with them.
Okay.
So if I'm hanging out with my parents or if I'm hanging out with my best friend, just that quality time with them, because I am, going off to college. It would just be nice to have a little bit more time where we can remember.
So you're actually more involved and actually focus on what's going on rather than, okay, I'm here, but my mind is on school. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. That would definitely be a good sign for you, right? That, you've overcome this fear. Okay. So if you were to do this, who do you think would notice that change in you?
Probably my parents. I think would be the first to notice, just because I'm around them the most. And
Okay. Your parents. What do you think it is that they would notice differently about you?
Probably like the way I react to things, like my emotions. I think they'd be able to see, that I was more calm and like happier.
Okay. So more calm and happier. So would you say right now you're a little more reactive to things or just more withdrawn?
Yeah, I'd say more reactive. Yeah, like maybe some like little things would happen and it would kind of set me off just because I'm already kind of stressed. So then, like something small may seem a little bigger than it really is.
Okay. So that's what they would notice. How do you think they would respond to you in this, I guess, relaxed, more at ease state?
I think that they would just be appreciative that I'm, happy and not overreacting to things.
Okay. So how would you then respond to them if they're being more appreciative of you in this state? How do you think you would respond to that?
I would probably I feel like it would help our relationship. So instead of like getting into arguments, I think it would help us to have a stronger relationship. And then when I am gone, we'll already have that relationship, so it'll help us like with
that's very good. That's a good observation. So I hope that we're able to conquer this together. Okay. So let's think about one more person. Who else do you think would notice this change in you?
I would say my best friend. Just because like I talk to her the most. So I think that she would also probably be able to tell, because like I tell her a lot about like things that stress me out too. So I think she would notice a difference of me, instead of focusing so much on like the stressors, maybe focusing a little more on her, being more like more of like an active listener and like
and focusing. So instead of just like spewing everything that you're stressed about, you're more interconnected and actually socializing about each other. Yeah,
I think there would be more like equal like give and take, versus right now maybe I'm just expecting a little more of her.
Oh, okay. So you kind of answered what they would notice. How do you think they would respond to you if you're not like spewing about the stress?
I think she would also be appreciative and be happy, like, oh hey, like you're being a good friend right now, like you're listening more, you're like more present. I think that she would like that.
So she would be appreciative, and then again, how would you respond to that newfound dynamic in the relationship?
I think that it would, again, same as my parents, I think it would just help to strengthen our relationship, and then that's going to help us, with the long distance, that we already have that strengthened, relationship, so that we can keep things going long distance instead of, getting in arguments and like breaking up.
Good. Okay. When has this miracle happened for you of, not having those stressors, even if it was just a little bit?
I would say probably like at my birthday party, because I wasn't really focusing on school at that time. Because, I was just surrounded by friends and just around people that care about me. And, like that was kind of just like not in my mind, just because of everything that was happening. So I think that was like a day that I really like look forward to, or like to think about, like, because it was
okay. So it seems, you're sharing that, having those support systems around you is kind of what supported you. But how do you think it was you that were able to make this happen? You able to be in that moment?
I think just like not overthinking and not focusing too much on the things that are stressing me out. Like there are times when it's important to think about those things, because like obviously I do want to get into good schools and I do want to focus on my grades, but like obsessively thinking about them, I think is unhealthy, because like you have to find ways to kind of split your time up, like when you're with your friends, focus on them, and then when you're focusing on school, just focus on school.
And that's awesome to mention, because you took the words right out of my mouth. You had, just the way you say it, there's a time and a place for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And while it's awesome and amazing that you have these goals and these aspirations,
Mm-hmm.
you also need to take that time for yourself, because we don't want your stress cup to overflow and then have, you know, something bad happen, you know. And so taking the time out of your day to really focus in those moments, like for your birthday party or celebrations, really taking the time to be present in that moment. You know, I'm glad that you were able to recognize that. So keep that in mind in future instances, maybe when you go out to dinner with friends or you're out at the park or something with your family, to truly try and be in that moment.
Okay.
So I'm gonna praise you on that. That's awesome. So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being the worst and 10 being the best, where would you rate yourself today?
Today, I would say like a 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you give yourself this rating?
Just based on like how I've been doing lately, I feel like it's, you know, I do have, sometimes I overthink things, or I'm obsessing over my thoughts, but you know, it's not like every single day, every moment, but it does happen frequently. So you know, it's something that's impacting me, but not to the point where it's like disabling.
So you're being a little more mindful about it. Okay, good. And so when you move one number higher, so you're at a 6 today, what will you see yourself doing when you're at a 7?
At a 7, I think maybe just like learning to prioritize my time, like maybe like finding some better time management skills.
Better time management.
Like if I'm able to manage my time, that I focus on school and on like, you know, applications, then that's going to leave me more time to spend with my family, my friends. So that'll be relieving of the stress.
So more effective time with your family and friends instead of scrambling, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that.
Yeah.
That's a really good insight to have. And so another thing to keep in mind, so that way you know now, okay, I need to do this to get to this number to feel better. So keep that in mind this next week going forward. So is there anything else that I need to know before our next session, or in terms of this goal?
Like if you have any strategies or tips for me, I'd be willing, like I'm open to trying things if you have any suggestions.
Good. And you know, it honestly, I want to compliment you that you are already having some awesome strategies. You know, your first step was coming in here and addressing that, you know, you have something going on in your life. So that's number 1. That's good. Number 2, you know, you are being a little more mindful of what it's going to take to get there. So like you've already said for yourself, having better time management skills. So you being mindful about that and being organized in that kind of a thought process, that's a really good thing as well. So I guess another technique I could give you is we can work on grounding techniques and kind of ways to re-switch your mind, or being more mindful and being present in the moment. We can work on things like that.
Okay.
But another thing I wanted to compliment you about is that you are a successful student and you're striving to do good in college and university, but you are still keeping those around you close and you are concerned about them. So that means you're a very empathetic and compassionate person. So, you know, I think these next steps going forward and these next sessions are going to be really good. So, you know, your goal of wanting to reduce the stress in your life and not be so anxious is going to be really helpful to you being successful in college, because that's going to be a whole another jar of worms, but you're going to be able to tackle it. So like I said, in the next week going forward, let's try to, like you said, let's try to be more effective in our time management skills. And when you do find yourselves in those moments with your friends or your family, like at lunch or at dinner, try and place yourself in that moment more without trying to focus on the next task you have to do for school. So when you're in that moment, be in that moment, give yourself that time, and then once it's done, you can go full force into the schoolwork. Okay? So I look forward to our sessions, Amanda, and I hope you have a wonderful day wonderful rest of your day at school.
Thanks. You as well.
Thanks. Okay.